G'day guys, welcome to Scotch Down Under. I'm Ken.
I'm Scott.
And I'm the Cue Ball.
And today, what do we have in Cue Ball?
Today, we've got a new one. It's a new release from Glen Grant. This is the Arboralis.
Arboralis. That's a pretty cool name, isn't it?
It is a bloody cool name.
And this has only just been out for a couple of months. It's brand new on the shelves.
Pretty bloody new, yes. And Arboralis means light from within the trees.
Oh, okay. So is it similar to Australia or Borealis, or the Borealis are the lights that you see in the sky?
No, I think just more the dappling of the light through trees.
Like God rays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah. Right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
So this one is a really nice looking box, I must admit, and being a Glen Grant, it's going to be pretty well received on every shelf, I think.
I think so. It's almost the inverted golf racing colours, where or in this case the orange is predominant, the blue is in the striping, and it's a nice touch. It looks really classy, and if we open that, would you? Or?
Yeah, we'll pop it open now. We won't talk about the label exactly, but
Pull it out.
Yeah, we'll have a little look.
And it's really well presented. Yeah.
1840 when they first established.
Oh, there you go. Established in 1840.
So they've been around for a while. And it's a Speyside.
It is a Speyside. Was originally a small distillery, and then somewhere along the lines, I think in the 70s or something, was bought by Pernod and is now owned by Campari.
Okay.
Maybe they've had some influence, I don't know, with some new expressions coming out in recent years.
Yeah, this one is an NAS. It's obviously, we don't know whether it's chill filtered and coloured and all that, but we're presuming, it's going to be around that. 40%
ABV, and hopefully it goes, because I'm not sure, is it actually a limited release, or is it we're going to see how it goes and then take it from there? I don't know,
because when it first came out, I thought it was a limited release, but there seems to be quite a lot of stock available for it.
Yeah, they've pushed this out because the Glen Grant themselves have actually done a couple of shows on their own website and through other mediums actually talking about this expression. And is this the only NAS that they do?
No, they do another one, which is the Majors Reserve, which is their base release, which sells for around
$55-ish.
Oh yeah,
50.
And that's been
55.
out for a while. That one,
yeah, that's been available for ages.
But they haven't done an NAS in a long time, so this is quite surprising for them to bring this out. Yeah,
I mean the best known product in their range is without a doubt the 10-year-old, which sits around, what did we say, $65-$70.
I think so, yeah.
And multi-award winner Jim Murray for the last 7 years has been saying that the 10 is one of the best 10-year and under, if not the best, single malt from multiple cask.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a massive accolade.
Well, they tend to rake it in when he does his, he brings out the new Whiskey Bible, because I believe last year the 18 won three different awards: best single malt Scotch, or the best Scotch whiskey, the best single malt in multiple casks, and the best 16 to 25, I think it is.
And I mean, they are a pretty decent sized distillery. They're in the not sure about production. I know they do a decent production volume.
6.2 million litres.
Yeah, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's up there.
And they're in the top 10 sellers internationally.
Yeah. Yep. You can pretty much get this anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, this particular expression, I mean, the Majors Reserve and the 10 are available in pretty much every single liquor store I've ever walked into.
Yeah, anyone.
And this one seems to be, I mean, I've seen it in 4 different stores in our little neck of the woods already.
Yeah.
So we have touched earlier about the packaging, but I really enjoy this packaging. It really stands out on the shelf. It's a nice orange.
Bright, vibrant colours, which are
with the blue,
contrasting colours too.
Yeah, with the blue accent all around it. And it complements the bottle as well. It's like the liquor in it and the labelling itself. And I found that the white little label down the bottom here was actually a little bit distracting when I first glanced at it, because I thought it was one of those distributor labels they stick on some bottles, but normally they are on the back.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're usually on the back, mate.
Yeah, normally, and I went double take, and I thought, is that one of that? It should be on the back, and I was like, no. And it's got the embossed 1840 down there. I actually really liked it.
Oh, look.
And the shape, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice shape. You've got a bit of tapering with the raised front on it. The white on green stands out really well. There's some texture there.
With some
and
gold.
The gold edging.
Yep.
What does this actually say on here? So, Major James Grant created tall, slender stills and unique purifiers to capture only the finest vapours.
It's a nice colour of orange too. It's not one of those yucky looking orange colours. It actually stands out. All right, crack it open.
It complements the colour of the whiskey itself quite nicely. I feel.
Yeah. I feel like that might have been on purpose.
Well, it could have been.
Yeah.
It may be that there's, they sort of stopped and looked and there's not a lot of colours like this sitting on a shelf anywhere.
No.
So let's go with something different and unique, and
Nice.
Nice cork.
love that.
Blip, 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 blip. Best sound ever invented.
Complete with clink of glass in the process.
We should let this open up a little bit, but we have tasted it before, so we know most of the characteristics that are in it.
Yeah, I mean the most obvious thing, very little alcohol warmth to it on the nose.
It is only 40%.
And this is actually matured in a couple of different casks.
Yeah, so you've got ex-bourbon, and then it's finished off in Spanish sherry casks.
We don't know which ones.
Didn't
No, I just said
specify.
Spanish, but
Yeah.
Or how long. But I think there's definitely a bit of...
there is a hint of spice and dried fruit
Yep.
on the nose.
It has
but-
been sitting there on sherry for a little bit.
and a light spice, so I kind of want to say that the sweetness becomes more toffee-like
Yeah.
rather than
Yep.
caramel or honey.
Yeah, it's a very light
Yeah.
coffee. Yeah.
Like burnt sugars.
And light dried fruits, not really...
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
not a big bold sherry note,
No. It's like a...
and a teeny little bit of citrus.
Yep. I was thinking of like, not a real heavy fruitcake, but one of those real light fruitcakes with a little bit of rind in there and some of the little fruit, but not a real heavy...
So no Christmas fruitcake.
Yeah, not a real heavy pudding style, but one of those light...
More like sticking your nose in a box of sultanas than anything.
Yeah,
Those
fresh
dried
ones.
grapes.
Yeah.
Sun-dried grapes.
Sun-dried grapes.
But it's a beautiful, soft, subtle nose.
Yeah, it's quite inviting. There's no sharp edges in there.
A little bit of vanilla. Just the tiniest little bit.
Yep. And the ABV is not offensive at all.
Yeah,
No,
so,
even
so
though
you can get your nose.
you can get it right in there, yeah. Even some ABVs with the 40%, you still shove it in there and you're like, oh, that's a bit spiky. All right. I think we
Done.
can get it in there.
Ah, it's so good.
That subtle fruit note straight up.
Yep, definitely.
Yep. Light sultanas and raisiny.
Ooh, but it opens up on the back as
Yeah.
as it softens up. It opens up on the back.
Yep.
I got a little bit of like kind of melon, like not watermelon or more the rock melon side,
Okay.
just on the end.
We'll just go and pick on the nose. I was picking up like what you're saying, a melony thing, more citrusy. But yeah,
So you mean like the freshness of a melon? You mean like that bright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you're saying before, at the back of the palate, you're getting a little bit of the oaky spice, but it's very subtle. Very subtle.
But
Going for another.
toffee sweet. And I think that's it's that combination of the sherry fruit and that sort of the slight oak richness and maybe a little of the bourbon coming through.
But a real soft toffee like a nougat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a creamy toffee.
Yeah. One of those ones that just melts in your mouth.
I might be off saying this, but I get a little tiny bit of bitterness on the end, similar to like the bitterness for a coffee.
Yeah, that's the peppery bit I'm getting. Yep. It's definitely not off.
No.
No.
Definitely not.
No, it's fine.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to have another dram just to make sure.
Yep, another go. I'm going to add a little drop of water and see if I can open this
let's
up a
open
bit,
this
because
up.
I'm reckon that citrus is going to... I'm getting more and more of that citrus as I'm going in, and I reckon that's going to open up a little bit more.
Guts to do.
Well, there you go. As we said earlier, a little tasting note there. Honey, dried fruit, delicate spice.
We hit it on the mark.
So, yeah.
And I certainly haven't
Honey,
read
dried
that.
fruit, and delicate spice unfold and intrigue with every sip. And that's really
That's on
accurate for
par.
me, because you I find you be genuinely with each sip that I'm actually going, ooh, yeah. It's not one of those ones that after a while you sort of just stop noticing. It's one of those ones that it's really delicate and it keeps
just
coming
grows.
through.
The more you drink, the more it grows.
Chocolate, like a milk chocolate.
That might be the sweetness that I'm getting. There's
Yep.
like a nuttiness to it.
Yep. But that
definitely-
fresh, effervescent, citrus kind of thing is definitely predominant.
That toffee's really opened up with water for me. Yeah, I just want some Werther's Originals.
It is like a pack of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of
That's
butterscotchy
that
toffee.
creamy,
Yeah.
buttery, sweet,
Mm-hmm.
caramelised toffee. How many analogies can I fit in a sentence?
We haven't stopped you yet.
And on the mouthfeel, it's a little bit not as thick as what it was adding the water. So I might have added a little bit too much. I didn't add too much, I thought, but it's definitely opening up the spice and the oak, which is typical with adding water. And it's a lot smoother and more typical of a space side. But I think it's taken away a little bit of that spice and the citrusy.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of the citrus anymore from
No.
the taste.
No, it's taken it away.
So that shows how much subtleties are in it. That just the smallest amount of water. Because I only added my usual 4 drops.
Yep.
And that just took it straight off.
I'm actually starting to think that it's not a citrus.
You reckon?
I mean, the initial thought was there was that little bit of rind there. Thinking about it now, it's like if you combined the two, so your melon reference with the freshness and that bit of rind, and basically split it down the middle, and you've got
Yep.
with
Yeah.
because there's not quite the sharpness there for it to be apple.
No, no,
So
it's
with
not. It's not
with
that
that
kind
little
of.
bit of sweetness that's there. I think you could liken it to a pear note.
Yeah, pear would be a closer.
That's
So-
a pretty good one. Yep. Fresh pear, yeah.
Caramelized.
Pear.
Caramelised
Yeah,
pear.
caramelized pear
Yeah.
in a glass. Okay.
Oh, now I'm just hungry.
That is cracking. That is absolutely cracking.
For its price point, it's ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely ridiculous
Well,
because
then-
it's basically retailing.
Well, we've got to talk about that. So.
Yeah, that's coming
Well,
up.
we're all aware. We've all bought this.
Well, yeah, but we got to let the audience have a guess.
Well, no, we tell them.
Okay.
They've probably
guess along
already
with us.
made a guess with what we've been saying so far. But nice and simple, straight down the line, it's $65 a bottle.
Around that.
Yeah.
And at the moment, in a few stores, it's on special.
Yeah, I've seen prices as low as, what, $54 I think they had one on special for?
Yeah, that's what I paid for it yesterday.
Yeah, 54,
thought so.
55 or
You said
something.
you were going there afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I bought one from you, and I went and bought one from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave that last a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's what I'm struggling with right now too.
yeah, so around the $60 markish, which is a damn good bang for the buck.
It severely outperforms its price point.
Yeah.
And it's great when you find whiskies that just consistently do that, like particularly distillers that just consistently outperform what they're marketed at.
Yep, and you could definitely introduce this to someone who, doesn't really like whiskey that much, and especially adding a little bit of water. It's really smooth and subtle, and
It would actually make a great introductory Scotch.
and some good cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because it's got that sweeter toffee element to it and things. I think you could actually turn a bourbon drinker with this.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good
Yep.
point.
Yep.
But
So
being more
that,
sweet.
I'd
that
like to have
soft,
this in
delicate sweetness, you can really.
I'd like to have this in a Rob Roy old fashioned.
It would, I reckon it'd make a decent old fashioned. I reckon you could play around with it a lot more and make some really, really cool cocktails with it.
It wouldn't work in my favourite whiskey cocktail though, which is a rusty nail, because I think the Drambuie would overpower it too much.
Yeah,
It's too subtle for that.
yeah. This needs to be like a highball, for example, would be really good. Just on a hot day, a bit of soda, and this would be open up really nicely.
But maybe we should make some old fashions and we'll come back to
I
that.
think so. Nice big rind of orange on there. Yeah, it'd be good. So, what are you going to give it out of 10, boys?
Well, I'm thinking about, like, if we consider price point, and I don't know where I was going with that.
Price point and
Didn't read the end.
what do you reckon? We'll let him think about it.
I'll finish his sentence.
Yep.
This is, I think he was on the same lines as me.
Yeah.
The price point, the subtlety of it,
Yeah.
and let's face it, it's clean, it's fresh,
Yeah.
It delivers.
That's exactly right.
and it's punching above its weight, well and truly.
Well and truly.
So, and consider the presentation and everything too. I'm going to give it a 9.25.
Oh, really?
Basically, it's the whiskey itself. I'm going to say that's punching a solid 9.
Yep.
And the presentation gives it that little bit more.
Because that's where I was going to go.
I was around you with around the same ballpark.
Don't you just love it when people agree?
Well, we all own a bottle of it. I put it as my favourite in the blind tasting. So
Yeah.
and
There were some decent whiskies in there.
there was some
blind tasting
really good
too.
whiskies in there, and I thought this was really interesting and subtle but complex. And
When we had it in that tasting, and when he revealed what it was, and he's like, you won from Glen Grant, limited release, bum, bum, bum. I'm like, how many you got?
yeah, and I went like the
coming to
next
get
day,
one.
and I went bang, I'll have one of them. Thanks. Yeah, definitely. So
yeah.
9.25 across the board. That note. Till next time. Have a good one.
One.
What are you laughing about?
I can't talk. Have a
Choking on
good
it.
one.
He had some left!
Yeah, I know. Holy,
I've still got
some left. That's going on the end of the video, mate.